Hi guys, so good evening and welcome back to my magical world. It's me, Frostbite Goddess, your favorite celebrity here in the Philippines. Wala pala tong charge na phone ko isa. So it's 22:35 in the evening. Today is January 22, 2026, and it's Thursday. So I hope you have a very blessed Thursday. Okay, so I wasn't here, I think, yesterday. I'm not sure. Just you can check. Just because. so so I'm still processing. So I got a lot of information from yesterday and from today, from many things like um yeah, many things, and also from a previous batchmate. And I'm still processing all of the things and all of the shit that I receive, shitty information that I have to process or ponder or something like that, guys. But for now, let's just focus on this book that I'm supposed to read for you kasi wala ta ako kahapon. So again, this book is Dark Psychology to Manipulate and Control People by Arthur Horn. And for that, we will read page 11 and 12 tonight. So, siguro kwentuhan ko kayo when I'm in the mood kasi I'm still processing many things. Like, my headspace is full of information and from the other stuff pa. So, hindi ko pa siya, and I also need rest. Kaya isipin ko siya how to deliver it well to you sa mga susunod na araw. Okay? So for now, we are reading Manipulation versus Persuasion. Ulitin ko lang ha. Ulit-ulit tayo. Page 11 and 12. So these terms might seem diametrically opposed, with persuasion acting as the honest form of manipulation, where the actor is upfront about their goals and opinions. However, for the purposes of this book, it will be more useful to consider persuasion as a tier below manipulation. Persuasion then becomes a method of manipulation, which is a form of influence. Persuasion also happens to be one of the less effective methods of manipulation. Also, we don't use this word persuasion kasi it connotes when you hear about it, diba, it sounds negative to most of you guys. Okay, some people just it's just this, but it's really a negative word for the most of us when you hear it, diba? Usually ginagamit to sa magic show, tama ba? Yung may mga clowns and all. So you know that. So very yung persuasive how they do things in there. Kasi ganun talaga yung forte nila, or like the team. So wait lang. How often have you been in a debate with someone else only for them to hold up their hands and say, "I concede, you are absolutely right"? It is probably possible for you to count these instances on one hand. It may be easy to persuade someone that smoking is unhealthy, but is it easy to persuade them to quit? So mahirap siya, di ba? Especially if like if they've been used to doing it for such a really long time. It kind of like it's blah, blah. It's like it's in their system. Kasi I believe when you are doing it for the last 90 days, yan, that becomes a habit. Diba, we've already talked about it from the previous book, yung Mastery. So Um, if it were so, governments wouldn't see the need or benefit in placing heavy taxes on tobacco products in order to discourage use. According to this book's definition, the government is trying to manipulate the consumption of tobacco and using a range of methods, including persuasion, to achieve that end. So they can actually put a lot of taxes, like they could double it or triple it if they really want to, diba? I mean, if they want the people to not afford it eventually, diba? But tatamaan yung mga businesses ng mga elite billionaires, or the people that are working in politicians, you know and the people who have the means and who are in those industry before pa tayo mabuhay. So wait lang ako wait lang So what about other forms of influence and other methods of manipulation? Well, manipulation needs to have intent, and it ought to have some form of goal, even if that goal is just to create anarchy. A great filmmaker may influence the work of many others, but it is clearly distinct from manipulation. The filmmaker doesn't set out to influence others, although they may. Rather, they achieve influence through the reaction of others of their work, resulting in inspiration and even emulation. So, ganun guys, when you are doing films. I think I've watched 3 movies pero hindi ko natapos yung isa. But at least I have Alex, it's the character from one of the movie. So persuasion, likewise, is not the only method of manipulation one could employ. An easy alternative, by the way, those movies are really good. Persuasion, likewise, is not the only method of manipulation one could employ. An easy alternative is lying, a form of deception. To lie and to be believed will inevitably change the perception of those who believe the lie. As has already been established, it is still manipulation whether it is successful or not. Persuasion, like influence, doesn't suffer from quite the same image problem as manipulation. In fact, it's seen as a positive thing to be able to make a persuasive argument. Although it does not have sinister tinge, the phrase "I can be very persuasive" implies some exertion of power over another party, possibly even an abuse. Also, when employers refer to the soft skill of persuasion, it is correct to understand this as a euphemism for manipulation. So, at least in part. So, yan. Tapos na tayo, guys. Itipid natin tong book kasi I'm still figuring out what book are we going to read next. But by the way, yun lang naman. I think yun lang naman yung kaya nating matapos for today. So, for tonight, you guys rest. And Friday na bukas. So, I'm sure busy kayong lahat. And I think it's a good thing that you are all busy. But make sure you are doing productive shit. The way you use those words, busy. So, I will see you again. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generation.